This is Rugby Unity. I am David Pembroke, and welcome to another of our conversations with key personalities from the world of rugby. Today, we speak to the president of Chilean Rugby, Mr. Cristian Rudloff. And Chile, as you all know, those of you who've listened to Rugby Unity, will compete at the 2027 Rugby World Cup, and Chile will compete for the second time, having been at the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France. But joining me is Cristian Rudloff. And Cristian, welcome to Rugby Unity.
Thank you very, very much, David, for this invitation. We are, as Chile Rugby, not just myself, we are very honored to attend your podcast and of course, more than happy to qualify for the Rugby World Cup 2027 in Australia, and looking forward to visit your beautiful country and nation in 2 years from now.
So take me to the moment that the qualification happened, because we did see wonderful scenes at the end of the match where the crowd, the ground looked pretty much packed, but just the reaction of the players, the crowd dressed in their colours, just the euphoria of that moment. You know, describe it for me and reflect on it.
Well, there are a lot of emotions about this. We've been, as you mentioned, our first qualification for any Rugby World Cup was in 2022 for Rugby World Cup 23 in France. And we have been working really, really hard under very difficult conditions for the past years in order to build a high-performance program and a professional high-performance structure with all the difficulties that you can more than many difficulties basically, because in Chile there are not many professional sports, and we have built many things from zero in order to be able to have a professional structure. And according to that, well, we were the underdogs in 2023, beating USA and also Canada. So for this time and for this generation, qualifying for a second Rugby World Cup, it was more than just qualifying, but showing the world rugby that it wasn't just luck, or it wasn't just one lucky moment qualifying for Rugby World Cup 2023, but qualifying for a second World Cup shows that we are really working in a very serious and professional way, and the commitment of the players in this new professional structure is 100%. So of course, a whole nation is now following us, even in a country where football is the first sport. We football, soccer, is the first sport. We have been working hard in order to find a place where to put rugby under more visibility and in a larger base of fans and people following us. So this was the right and the perfect moment to show to a whole nation here in Chile that rugby is growing. Rugby is a very well-known sport in Chile. Even many people don't know the sport because they haven't played in school or when they were kids. But after understanding a little bit what is rugby about, they get in love with the sport, with all the commitment of the players, and everything that you as a Tier 1 nation already know, especially in Australia, which is a country where sports and professional sports is well developed.
So tell me, before we jump into a discussion about high performance, the development of the game in South America as it is today, why we are seeing so much improvement out of the South American teams, perhaps let's go back to first principles, and if you could just tell us the story of rugby in Chile. When did it start? How did it grow? Where is it strongest? How many players do you have? Just those basic facts, really, about the story of rugby in Chile.
Yeah, well, it started probably the same way how everywhere started, with the British immigrants, basically in the minings, both in the north of Chile in the late 80s, and also in the coal mines in the south. The first games we have record were between the local miners against the ships workers. So when a British ship comes to Chile to load coal, for example, or to load the minerals in the north, they play each other. And these are the first records in 1890, more or less, 1880, 1890s. So it started there in the coastal cities, in the ports, and then it became, well, an official sport basically in the British schools. So it grew through that, through these paths, through schools, British schools basically, and it's strong in the largest cities, Santiago, which is the capital city, Viña del Mar, which is a seaport near Valparaiso, 100 kilometers western from Santiago, and in Concepción, which is also a large city with a seaport, famous in the past for the coal mines, but now it's a very industrial area, which is 500 kilometers southern from Santiago. These are the three major cities where probably 80% of the rugby players are located. We have around 15,000 adult players, but all along Chile, from the very north in Arica, which is near the border with Peru, until the Patagonia, the south in the Magallanes Strait in Punta Arenas, and we like to say from the Andes up to Easter Island. Both in Easter Island, we have some rugby clubs also. Actually, last weekend there was an international sevens tournament played there. So we are very, very proud about that. It's a transversal sport. It's played today within all the social classes, if that's right to say. Originally, it was played by the private schools. Now it's you can find rugby clubs all along the country, in every social sector, or not just in the private schools, but also in public schools, etc. So we are very proud about that, and this is why we basically saw a packed stadium in Viña del Mar, which is not even the capital city, but the second largest city in Chile, when we played Samoa a month ago in front of 22,000 people, which is a large crowd for Chile.
Do you have challenges with Chile because of the geography of Chile? It's unusual in that it's very narrow and it's very long as it sits there. Does that create challenges for you to grow the game, administer the game, create opportunities for people to play the game?
Yes, very much. Well, you probably have the same challenges in Australia, and we always see Argentina, how they have been able to use these challenges as opportunities in order to grow the game in every corner of the country. And this is the same thing we are doing today. It's, of course, because of the long distances, it's very expensive to grow the game and to make the amateur clubs play each other when they have to travel 400 or 500 kilometers every weekend. But the most important thing today, and something we have been working hard for the past years, it's in order to grow the kids game, to show more kids, especially in schools, the game, so the age grade competition is stronger within the cities, so we can grow the adults game or the open game more between each city or the club, the amateur club. Especially in the north, we separated the country in 4 big areas, which is the north, all the north, which is very long, actually, like more than 1,500 kilometers long, from La Serena up to Arica. Later I can send you a map so you can have a better picture. Then it's Santiago, which is the capital city, and it's a very large city, more than 8 million population. The coastal area, which is Viña and Valparaíso and up to La Serena, and then all the south. So as we separate the country in 4, we have been focusing in developing the intercity games or regional games, with trying to raise more funds to support the local unions or the regional unions, because the Chile Rugby Union is separated in 9 large regions. These nine regions are then joined in 4 major areas.
So of the 15,000 players, is that 15,000 senior players, men and women? And women. So how many underage players would there be? How many junior players would there be in Chile? And how many clubs would there be, both junior clubs and senior clubs?
We have very lack of junior clubs. There are more schools. Total senior clubs, we have more than 150 all along the country. Not all of them have a junior series, and this is what we are working on in order to give them, or to push them for opening the game at the age grade competition also. And this is why we are investing a lot in order to grow the game inside the schools, so they can later, these kids can later feed the amateur clubs and then feed the professional structures.
So is the game growing? Is it growing in schools? Is it growing in the junior clubs? And is it growing in the senior clubs? And is it growing for both men and for women?
Yes. Well, especially as I already mentioned, rugby exists all along Chile for many years ago, since many years ago. But our first appearance in France in 2023 gave us a massive and huge visibility. So there were thousands of kids interested in knowing the game, in being able to join an amateur club and to start playing it. And it also happened something very special. which is that the families and the parents, they have seen rugby in a different way. Before they knowing the game, they thought it was an aggressive sport, and because of it is of course a contact sport, but they didn't know the rules, they didn't know the passion, they didn't know the values of the game, which is something we always the rugby players we always say and try to transmit to everybody. But that visibility during the Rugby World Cup showed many people which didn't know the game that it was something absolutely different than what they thought. So there were a lot of parents actually calling the Chile Rugby Union in order to ask where they can bring their kids to play rugby. So it was very, very nice being able to experience that and to start answering the parents from all along Chile by calling us.
There's never enough money to do what you need to do to realise the potential. There's no rugby union anywhere in the world that says, yes, we've got plenty, we don't need any more. Where are the priority investments for you prior to a discussion that we can have about high performance? Where are you investing your money to get the best return to help realise the potential of rugby union in Chile inside the amateur part of the game?
Yeah, well, it's a great question actually, because we started this 6 years ago. It was together with all the high performance structure within South America. So we started the Super Liga Americana in 2020. By then, we were very much aligned with Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil, Chile, and Colombia in order to build a professional structure. So we were lack of resources. So we realized that, we had just one bullet because, as you said, even we can have money today, much more resources than the ones we had 6 years ago. It won't be enough ever. So we put all the resources we had 6 years ago in building a professional high performance structure, because we knew that if we succeed, we will have the visibility in order to show what we really wanted to show, like a passionate game, a lot of full of values, and exactly what I expressed before. Like, it gave us a chance to show our game to much more people, and they will be willing to join the game and to start playing. And this is basically what happened. So all the resources we have been raising for the past years, not all, but a large percentage of the resources we invest in the high performance, and now we are investing in the development of the game. So the high performance allowed us to raise funds in order to have funds today in order to be able to invest in the development of the game. And it's difficult because today there is a lot of interest, but very few people, or not enough people, that knows how to teach rugby. So one of our challenges today is to teach teachers about the game, so they can teach inside the schools and inside the new clubs willing to open rugby for kids.
So what is your plan to get more referee and coaching education into Chile?
Well, today we are working in three different ways. We started working with the universities, which so today we have a program in 5 different universities. Well, in Santiago, Viña del Mar, Antofagasta, which is in the north, in Concepción, and Talca, which is between Santiago and Concepción, actually, in 5 different universities, giving the rugby classes inside the physical education career. So one of the objectives is to graduate teachers from the universities who knows rugby, so they can start working in schools and they can teach rugby immediately. The second is we have a very, very ambitious plan to teach teachers and people, well, rugby players, with the skills for teaching rugby at the age grades. So that's our major objective today, like having more teachers and people that can teach rugby. Within that is also the challenge for building referees or finding people who know the game and are willing to start refereeing. Myself, I won't say I still like refereeing, but I ref for many years, even internationally. I wasn't a national team player, but I did represent Chile as a referee internationally, both in South America level, and also in Asia, where I lived for many years. So the refereeing is something I really like, and I understand. Well, it's not easy to build a good referee, but there are many good people willing to ref. So we have to work hard in order to provide them the tools to become good referees and for helping the game to grow. And it's very difficult, very different, not difficult, also difficult, but it's very different, like building an amateur referee which will teach or will ref kids or age grade games, between the professional referee structure, which is necessary to train as a professional player, to know the game even more than any professional player. So we are working in both ways. It's a big challenge, though. I think it's the same challenge at different level in every country. The more players you have, the more referees you need, and the more referees you need, the more investment you need to put on the referees. So it's circular, actually.
Yeah. So tell me the story then of Super Rugby Americas from your perspective, from Chile's perspective, going back to when it first started. What improvements you've seen along the way, and how you are using that competition really as the lever to develop the high performance systems and culture in Chile.
Well, it was key. First, it gave us having a professional competition with the support of South America Rugby and World Rugby, with a focus in high performance, gave us the opportunity to have a high performance competition in which our best players can see where they are. This was the first positive thing. It happened. Well, I already said it happened. It started in 2020. We had the COVID, so we just played 2 games, and it was very challenging to continue with the high performance structure during COVID. But even then, back in 2020, when we decided to build the professional structure, very few people thought that we were really prepared or ready to start a high performance structure. And we shocked actually the region, beating Peñarol from Uruguay at the first ever game of the league. So by then we realized, okay, we are working in the right direction, and what we are doing is what we needed in order to build up a national team with all the necessary skills and all the necessary game time at this level to be able to compete internationally. So the Super Rugby Americas, I have to say, made a huge impact in the region, and it's the main reason why. Well, of course, the Pumas are from Argentina. They are in a higher level, but now for Uruguay, they have played in many Rugby World Cups, but it's the second time that in the region we have three nations playing in a Rugby World Cup, and this time, well, we qualify with more, how to say, showing a much better rugby and a lot of improvements in our playing structure than how we qualify in 2022.
How big an improvement has the quality of rugby seen over that period from 2020 now to 2025?
Well, one of the KPIs that we have is the number of players involved in the high performance structure. And at the beginning, we just had like 18 players in a high level, and even our bench. The difference between the players on the bench and the first selection players was big. Today, we have seen, especially this year, because we had 5 players, key players, injured during the year. They couldn't play with Uruguay and Samoa, and the players that replaced them were at the same level or even better at some points, and the players that were in the bench replacing them or being the impact players instead of these players were even better. So we have enlarged the number of players involved in the high performance. The quality of our players is much better, and we are working at younger ages, since 16 years old kids, at kind of high performance structure in these 4 regions, 4 large areas that I've already mentioned. We have built 4 high performance centers, one in each major area of the country, one in the north, one in the south, one in Santiago, and one in the coastal area. So we are picking the players or giving the chance to the players involved in these high performance centers the chance to become national team players. And we are working not just in the men's games, but also the women's game also.
And I understand that the government of Santiago have made an investment in the high performance rugby centre. What sort of other government support are you getting across Chile?
Well, as there is a lot of interest today in the game, first thing we have large support from regional governments in order to try to bring the national team to their cities. So in Chile we have at least one big, like when I say big, it's larger than 20 to 25,000 people stands stadiums on each capital city. So we have played from Antofagasta, which is 1,400 kilometers northern from Santiago, up to Temuco, which is almost 800 kilometers southern from Santiago, in all major cities. So there is support on this area, like bringing the national team to the capital cities in the all along Chile, but also supporting the development of the game. For the past year, we have had meetings with the municipalities, many municipalities all along Chile. They are investing public funds in order to build community clubs and community rugby programs within the more populated areas all along Chile. And these are public funds, basically, not just in infrastructure, but also in growing the game and doing more rugby programs all along the country.
It was a question that I asked the president of Indian Rugby, Rahul Bose, in a similar interview that we published. And the question is around government. And when you are speaking to government and you are asking government for funding, why is it that they are giving that money to rugby? What is the proposition for them? How is it that you can convince them to give money to you and not to football or to, some other Olympic sports?
Well, it's a good question. It's something we face at the beginning, and today I tell this as an anecdote. When we just started in 2019, we had a meeting with the government by that time, and we showed them all the plan. First, we were very organized and we had a plan. We have a high performance structure and also development structure within a master program that we showed to the sports authorities of the country, and we show them this. And as I mentioned, the four high performance centers in Chile. And that meeting, after we showed the whole presentation, they told us, why do you want to do this? There are very, very few rugby players in the country. And we answered them like, no. We have shown you in the presentation all the clubs all along the country, in every single capital city from the regions, etc. And we have more than, by that time there were like 12,000 players in the country, and they told us, look, but this is we don't have these numbers. That's the truth. And the minister at that time opened his laptop and he showed me the numbers they had. They were very small. I won't tell how many, but there were very, very few players in their records. So he told me that then, look, if you really need more money, more public funds, you need to show us these numbers. You need to send us officially the numbers you have, because if not, it will be impossible that we can help you more. So we made an official census in the country in order to raise the official number of players and then sharing with the authorities. This was one thing which is sometimes it sounds easy, but it's not easy when all the local rugby authorities or the local unions are not very well connected with the central government, to say, which is the national union. So we started that, working on that. We started helping the regions also, having more communication, better communication, giving them feedback more frequently, and involving some people from the regions also in the national union. So this is something we did at the beginning, but it was all linked to a very, very ambitious growing plan that we had, and we have been very aligned with that plan since then. So we said that we wanted to do this in order to get these results or get these goals, and we did. Even we didn't have much funds at the beginning. With the as I said, with the one single bullet we had, we killed two birds.
Yeah.
And then we got another one and we killed four. So
it's and I'm sure qualification for Rugby World Cup would have put a very big smile on the face of all of those government officials and elected politicians when they can see that investment is turning into productive outcomes, and then all of the benefits that will come to Chile as a result of participating in Rugby World Cup 2027.
Yes, definitely. Well, the results at the end, as you mentioned, like it's something that everybody wants or needs. So if you work hard, at some point the positive results will come. And in our case, they came earlier than what we expected. Or not what we expected, but than we originally planned. Actually, we always say that at some point the pandemic helped us a little bit, because by the time many countries didn't work as hard as they were working because of all the troubles with the that the pandemic arose, we worked even harder. So the gap between Chile and Uruguay, Canada, USA, basically, it got shorter. And at some point we even passed, especially Canada and USA by that time. So we have been working very, very hard for the past years, and this is the main reason why we have achieved what we have got.
We're not talking rugby, we're building it. Rugby Unity.
And it's interesting you say that you've accelerated your progress because, again, similar conversation, as I say, with the president of Rugby India, having taken a very evidence-based approach, such as you have, and a strategic approach, they've seen similar progress in India and accelerated progress, more so than what they had promised in their plans to government. And interestingly, the Belgian team, who have only just by a whisker missed out on qualification this time around. I read an article where their plans, they didn't think that this was their time, 2027. They were looking to 2031, but because of the success of the program and the support that they've had from French rugby in the development of rugby across Belgium, they, almost got there this time. Clearly, the focus was 2031, but it just goes to show that when you do apply good principles of, establishing an evidence base, well-structured strategic plans, processes, standard operating procedures, and you work through in a methodical, organised, clear way that the game is there.
Yes.
The game deserves this kind of support, because when it is supported by that level of professionalism, the game will attract, as you say, the values-based game and everything that we know about it and the benefit that it can create to communities is latent. But what it just requires is that professionalisation in terms of the organisation and management of the sport at all levels, from top to bottom and everywhere in between.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned something very, very important. Like in this case, Belgium got the support from France. We got the support from Argentina. Like inside the region, even it's a competitive sport and contact sport. We are always happy and proud for the success, in this case from Argentina, and from the success from Uruguay, and now from what we have achieved, of course. And it's a very, very friendly and collaborative structure what we have built inside the region in South America. And I always say, right after we lost to Uruguay the qualification process, they approached to us. We shake our hands, got a hug, and they told us, from this second, all South America is supporting Chile to qualify against Samoa. So we have that, I don't know if to say like a Latin thing, but we have been very, very collaborative, and this is the main reason why we have achieved what we have had in the region. So it's very proud of this.
No, Eddie Jones on the Rugby Unity program has mentioned on a number of occasions the leadership of the Argentinian rugby union in South America, and I do think it is one of the great untold stories.
Yes,
and that they do deserve all the accolade and recognition, because isn't it fabulous now that we have three South American teams who will be participating in 2027, and indeed to see the continued progress and improvement of the Argentinian national team, and recently having success through the Rugby Championship and playing some wonderful rugby, but then to go in November and at the time of this recording, having beaten Wales convincingly, and then
Scotland too.
A fabulous victory against Scotland, down 21-0, but to come back and steal that victory at Murrayfield in front of a packed crowd. I'm sure all South American fans would have been cheering them home.
Yes.
In that tournament, and they do carry the flag for South America, don't they? The Pumas. Everyone in South America, in South American rugby, whether it be Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, Colombia, everyone supports the Pumas.
Yes, that's it. And for many Rugby World Cups, we have cheered for Argentina and for the Pumas very, very proudly. And this is something you won't see in any other sport in South America, because we are the competition between all the countries is very, very hard. But in rugby, as I said, it's very collaborative, and especially for every Rugby World Cup, we all cheer for the Pumas. And of course, since the last one, we are also cheering for Chile, which is, great.
Yeah, of course. So looking to 2031, the next Rugby World Cup, it will be in North America, both 2031 and 2033. And we have been told, not in any great detail yet from World Rugby that there is a strategic plan that will be launched in January of 2026, approved by the World Rugby Council at its last meeting. And again, there is talk of a $250 million investment in. Now, this is the thing. Yes, it's North America, but I'm not sure whether it's a plan for North America or if it's a plan for the Americas, but with a focus clearly on developing the game ahead of the Men's Rugby World Cup in 2031.
Yes.
As the president of the Chile Rugby, what is your view of that investment, given that it would be fair to say that the progress made in South America, the cooperation, the collaboration, the general performance of the sport is in contrast to perhaps what we have seen in North America over a number of years?
Yes. Well, if we just stick to how it was announced, it sounds unfair. But as you mentioned, how the real plan is will be delivered, it's in order to grow the game in the whole region, not just in USA, let's say. Well, we are working hard in order to have more games or more international games with USA and being part of this. South America at all, not just Chile. So, of course, we will be happy to.
Are you at the table? Is South America is rugby in South America at the table?
Yes.
When these plans are being developed for this $250 million investment?
Well, today, yes, I can say that we are. If we could get more than what we get today, we will be happier, of course. But we are fully committed to the game and the growth of the game, and we understand that we have to work even harder to continue showing what we deserve and what we have achieved in the past years is not just something because of luck or because of other circumstances, but because of a very, very strict project that we have planned, and especially that it is sustainable, sustainable in time, sustainable in terms of financing, and sustainable in terms of the growth of the game. This is why we have been investing now as much as possible in the development of the game, especially in kids. If we could have more funds, make sure that all these funds will be invested in the game, but we want to be part of this, and we know as a region that we will be part of it. Sometimes, well, of course, 250 million sounds a huge amount of money, but if we divided it in 6 years, in many different aspects which will be invested, especially part of the growth of the game in order to deliver a 2031 and 2033 fantastic Rugby World Cups in the USA. It's something that for sure it's needed, and we expect and we hope that it will be well invested and it will be on benefit of not just USA but the whole region, and that's something we are very sure about.
Looking at it from afar, and I think the progress that you see in South America, led by Argentina, over time with the investment, and World Rugby obviously invested the money as well to get Super League Americas off the ground. But that spirit of collaboration and cooperation has to sit underneath this investment of $250 million. And it does need to look at the game from top to bottom. And, that's where the benefit will be. And clearly, the focus because of the size and the scale, and that's where, the tournament will be played in 31 and in 33. But as you can see at the moment from the investment of the National Football League in America, where that, Brazil is a key market for them. Mexico is becoming a key market for them. Football in the Americas, again, linking South and North America. So the precedent and the obvious, strategic sense of looking at it as one region makes sense. Now, where the dollars and cents ultimately get invested, I'm sure that's going to be, hard fought, as it should always be. But it would make no sense that we make, as a sport, such a considerable investment. And I take your point that $250 million over 6 years, with everything that needs to be done from grassroots all the way through to the elite, and to deliver what you say is this sustainable progress. It's really ultimately not that much, and
it's a lot
because
anyway,
of the needs that there are.
It sounds.
Well, it's a lot. It sounds a lot, but when when you start from Canada and you work your way through all the way to the bottom of South America, there are a lot of mouths to feed.
Exactly. Yes.
From that $250 million. So, but look, I think one of the things that World Rugby does do well are planning, and clearly they have been a supporter of the growth of the game in South America as well. So, but it is great, and I am absolutely supportive of the World Cup in 2031 and 2033 in the USA. There is no way that we could have sat that dance out. We had to walk towards the opportunity, because I think if we do get it right, there is significant benefit, upside to the sport, and I don't think we could continue to develop the game and ignore a market such as the USA, and not put our best foot forward, and not present our game in such a way that it appeals to more people in the USA. Because I don't know, I just don't. It staggers me that it's not more popular than it is at the moment, because of everything I know and understand about people, North Americans, and their love of contact sport, and their love of international sport, and they're they go crazy at the Olympics. And here we have an Olympic sport. Here we have a values-based sport. Here we have a contact sport. That their national game of the NFL is in fact a derivative of rugby.
Yes.
When you think back to exactly a similar history to Chile, where the British arrived and started playing the games up in the the northeast corner of the USA. Anyway, that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
So, Cristian, to wrap it all up, and just to look at the opportunity and to think about that, your expectations at the 2027 Rugby World Cup. You have your golden ticket to the dance.
Yes.
You now have the opportunity to prepare your team. What does the next couple of years look like for you? And perhaps a final question is, the curtain comes down on 2027. What would you hope and what would you expect that would have done to the game in Chile?
Oh, wow. Many questions in one. But,
yes.
Well, try to be short in the answer. First, we are looking for December 3rd for the group's confirmation.
Yeah, the draw.
Yes, for the draw. We secure for first time being in the third section. We secure being in the top 18, so that's great for us. And in terms of the Rugby World Cup and after Rugby World Cup, well, we expect, like as I said, like showing that our project is sustainable first. That we do have, we always say like the three legs in the table, not four, but three strong legs in the table, from government support, like private support, sponsoring, and also World Rugby. Continue believing in that what we are doing is professional and very well driven. And well, having more fans, having more kids playing rugby, consolidating our structure and giving also our professional players the chance to live their dreams. Because we started this as a dream with no professional players 6 years ago in Chile. Living in Chile, we had few players playing abroad professionally, but in Chile we didn't have any. And today we are giving the chance to live this dream of becoming professional players in Chile, and we expect to have to enlarge this number. Today we have one professional franchise. We expect having a second, like growing step by step, because there are many things we need to make sure before growing the professional sport, but consolidating the program, like having more kids, as I said, loving the game, also consolidating the women's rugby. We have played our first international women's test 3 weeks ago. We expect to grow the.
How'd you go?
Yeah. We are fully committed on that. we beat Peru. Actually, we played with Peru and we beat them. So it was great for the girls too. And well, that's it. Continue growing, taking care of the values of the game, because it's very easy to especially in Chile, we are very, what's the word, exitist. When we win, we're all happy and we think that we are the champions of the world in any sport, and we don't want to come to that in rugby, because it's a sport with that we want to. Well, we always say like it sounds super ambitious, but we want to contribute to our country in order to build and help raising better people, better persons through sport, and this is something we are working very, very hard on. So through rugby, like building better people.
Excellent. Well, the welcome mat will be rolled out well and truly for the Chilean team when they arrive. There's a very deep and enthusiastic and passionate expatriate community here in Australia. Yes. It's huge, and yes. I'm sure they will be absolutely over the moon and ready to give their very best. Plus others from around the world. That is the diaspora will arrive in Australia. It is one of the wonderful parts of World Rugby and the Rugby World Cup that people come from four corners of the globe to come to join the global community in the celebration of our values-based sport. And I can't wait. 2027 in Australia, because one thing Australians do many things well, but major events, is something that they have done and do continue to do very, very well, whether, be it the Sydney Olympics or the Melbourne Commonwealth Games, yes, or, the 2003 Rugby World Cup or the FIFA Women's Rugby, yes, World Cup from a couple of years ago. So everything is here. Everything is ready, and the country, the people, the government, and everyone in between will be ready to welcome you, Cristian, and your team, and all the other 23 teams. Best of luck with the draw on the December the 23rd. And I'm not sure when this interview will go to air, so perhaps by then it will be known who indeed has to look out for Chile. You just never know what is going to happen. So all the best with that. All the best with your plans. All the best with, I think, the 2031 Americas plan, I'm calling it. Yeah. That's what it's going to be. We need to call it the Americas plan, not North America. And let's see what progress can be made in that part of the world. But thank you for being so generous with your time today to join us on Rugby Unity as we continue to explore our great game in all of these wonderful countries where it is played. I think we are now up to 134 national member unions and associate member unions of World Rugby. So there are many stories, such as Cristian's told us today, of how our great game is being played around the world. So a big thanks to Cristian Rudloff, the president of Chile Rugby, joining us today. And a big thanks to you also for coming back once again and for your ongoing support for Rugby Unity. Remember that your voice, the third voice, is very important. So any comments, questions, please send them through to us wherever it is that you do engage with Rugby Unity. It could be on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, social media. Please be in touch with us. Give us your views. Tell us your stories, because ultimately this podcast has one very simple mission, and that is to help secure the future prosperity of rugby union around the world. And the only way that we do that is by alignment, by connection, by collaboration. And I think we can all take a leaf out of the book of Chile Rugby Union and the way that they are working under, with the great support of the Argentinian rugby and the other South American rugby, but working through it, organised, structured, planning, delivering, creating the evidence, sending the evidence forward to, whether it be government officials or public sector, private sector organisations, but being methodical about joining our great game up, because I think it's one thing that we haven't done particularly well over time, is to join up this wonderful sport that we have around the world. So anyway, we do want to hear from you, so please bring that through. Now, you can also subscribe to our Substack for exclusive content. There's behind the scenes, insights, full podcast access. It's ad-free. You can access that via the QR code, which is on the screen, or you can click the link in the show notes. So a big thanks for you coming back once again. And again, a big thanks to Cristian Rudloff. But please be kind to each other. My name is David Pembroke, and it's bye for now.